good morning race fans, and welcome to the beautiful Oulton Park circuit here in Cheshire, the home of motorsport in the northwest of England, for this race meeting promoted by the Northwest Centre of the British Automobile Racing Club, the BARC. Dave Goddard here taking you through the action as ever. We're on the long circuit, the international circuit here at Oulton Park today, promoted by the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. So we're getting underway very shortly then with our first race of the day, which is for the big cats, the Berkshire Jag Components Jaguar Challenge. Saloon and GT cars out there for this one. Qualifying took place this morning, and it was number 4 Tom Robinson in his XJR6 Saloon that took the pole position, nearly 2 seconds quicker than former champion James Ram in number 99 his XJS. The second row, number 11 Michael Holt, he's in a Class C Jaguar X300. 4 classes, A through to D. Class A for the road standard cars, up to Class D for the full race modified cars. Michael Holt starting alongside Colin Philpott, number 67, who we just heard from. Row 3, the reigning champion, number 24, Mike Seaborn, alongside 156, a good effort by Andrew Harper in the turbo diesel-powered XJ, his best qualifying effort so far this year. Row 4, Rick Walker with his XJS, and Tim Morantz, the first of the Class A cars, with his Daimler Sovereign Series 1. On row 5, Tom Lenthal, number 77, alongside former champion 139 Chris Boone with his XK8. Jack Robinson, the younger brother of Tom, in number 14, will start his XJ40 from row 6 alongside number 17. Good to see Tom Barkley back in the championship, a Jaguar specialist from down in Buckinghamshire with his XJS. Row 7, number 58, Derek Pearce, one of the elder statesmen of the series, with his XK8 alongside Guy Connew in the number 44 XJS. Matthew Davis starts on row 8, number 50, with his XJR6 Saloon alongside number 40 Dean Sewell with his Series 1 XJ6. Row 9 is number 97 Lawrence Kopok alongside 45 of David Ringham. The 10th row is number 88 of Damien Gray alongside 92 Michael Atkinson. Penultimate row, the XKR of Stephen Dowell, number 69, newcomer to racing this year, alongside number 31 of Simon Lewis. And rounding out the grid is Andrew Maynard, number 63, in I believe that's the car that Mike Seaborn won the title in last season, the XJ40. As we get ready for our first race of the day, the Berkshire Jag Components Jaguar Challenge, racing for 15 minutes around the Oulton Park International Circuit. The 5-second board is held aloft. We wait for the red lights to come on. They do so, wait for the lights to go out, and then it's time to go racing here at Oulton Park. The big cats are unleashed, and we're underway. Down towards the first corner at Old Hall, a super start by James Ram. Not the best of getaways for Tom Robinson. Colin Philpott up alongside from the outside the front row. It's Ram who leads the way, the man from Essex, in the XJS into the first corner. They swing their way through, somebody off onto the grass. That's Andrew Harper. As he saved it there, only just. That's a great save. The diesel-powered Jag. His good qualifying effort to get it onto the third row is wasted. He's dropped down the order. They swing through the left-hander at Cascades and run alongside the lake up towards the left-hander at Island Bend. Derek Pearce going side by side with Rick Walker, but it's Ram who leads from Robinson, Philpott, Michael Holt in 4th, Mike Seaborn is 5th. Tom Lenthal with a good start in the number 77. The grey XJS from the 5th row is up into 6th position already. Onto the brakes for the Shell Oils hairpin. Derek Pearce in the grey car, side by side with 54 Rick Walker in the lean green racing machine, as he calls his XJS. There's the diesel-powered car, the silk-cut Jaguar look-alike of Andrew Harper, has recovered from his off on the first corner. Britain's chicane, swing their way through there. Walker's got ahead of Pearce. Over the top and down towards Knickerbrook, and it's James Ram from Tom Robinson. They pretty much divided up the overall wins in recent time in this championship, the 2 Class D runners. Colin Philpott up into 3rd, he leads Class C. He's gone ahead of Michael Holt off the line, number 11. And then leading Class B is Mike Seaborn. I believe the brakes working okay, or maybe Derek Pearce's brakes aren't working okay. He's gone wide, he's going to spin out coming out of Knickerbrook off the grass over the circuit. Everybody else doing well to miss him. Derek Pearce, hopefully he can get the XK8 running again. Up Clay Hill and into Druids Bend, the right-hander. There's Harper closing up on Matthew Davis, the XJR Saloon. Car that had a fire at Silverstone last year. Bit of diesel smoke there from Andrew Harper as they head under the bridge. That's the Warwick Bridge, named after Paul Warwick, who sadly lost his life here in the 1990s. Through Deer Leap and over the line for the first time. It's Ram from Philpott's showing in second place. Tom Robinson's transponder isn't working, I don't think, so he's showing as dropping down the order. Now he appears in second place. He's on the tail of James Ram, coming down into the left-hander at Cascade. James Ram bouncing around there. That's XJS is certainly a tricky beast to tame, as is that supercharged XJR6, but he's pulling alongside here on the run up Lakeside towards the left at Island Bend. He's surely going to go through. Yes, he has. Tom Robinson takes the lead in car number 4. They pull clear of Philpott in third. Just listen to the supercharger scream in that number 4 of Tom Robinson, the Swallows Racing run car, as he comes out of Shell Oils. There's Lawrence Coppock, Jaguar veteran in the number 97. We've seen his son Richard race with him in the past as well. And is he slowing up there? Oh, we've got a spinner ahead. That's why they were slowing. Number 40, Dean Sewell, has spun coming out of Cascades. And here's a great battle coming out of Old Hall, and onto the grass goes Damien Gray. David Ringham's gone through there. Simon Lewis is behind them, and Lawrence Coppock says, I'll get involved in this as well. The Oxfordshire driver in the number 97. The top they come. David Ringham running third in Class A at the moment. Second is Jack Robinson in that category. Simon Lewis sends it up the inside into the right-hander at Hislops. Yes, he's through past Damien Gray. Oh, David Ringham pulling to one side there. He's losing places. Yeah, I think the 45's in trouble. Yes, he's slowing down as they head towards the Britain chicane. But James Ram, he knows that car's dropping oil. He's locked up there into the chicane. Maybe he hit the oil. Sliding about all over the place, and that's dropped Ram back again. I saw a car pulled over at the side of the circuit there. That looks like Matthew Davis, number 50. Yes, the green flag is out, so there's yellow flags at Britain's. Here they come towards Lodge Corner for the final time. And Tom Robinson in his Ailing at number 4 is just about, I think, going to struggle home. We got sideways there coming out into Deer Leap. Smoke everywhere. James Ram closes up, but Tom Robinson hangs on to take the win despite a lot of smoke from the back of his car. James Ram comes over in second. Robinson, I think, more relieved than anything to take the victory. Colin Philpott comes in for third position. Fourth, it will be Michael Holt. That's first and second in Class C. And here's Mike Seaborn, the reigning champion. Well, the repairs to the brakes have clearly worked, because he's coming in for fifth and to win Class B. We'll confirm the provisional results for you. Tom Robinson hold on to take the win there, despite that problem. He was certainly spewing out oil for the last couple of laps, holding on ahead of James Ram to win by 1.25 seconds. Third place going to Colin Philpott. He wins Class C ahead of Michael Holt. Mike Seaborn fifth, he takes Class B. Sixth going to Tom Lenthal. It was Rick Walker in seventh place, couple of seconds clear of the Class A winner, Tim Morant, in the Daimler. Andrew Harper recovered from his moment on the first corner to take ninth. Good result for him, and third in class as well. And Jack Robinson completing the top 10. He finished runner-up in Class A. Guy Connew 11th, then the big battle in the midfield won by Simon Lewis in 12th, ahead of Lawrence Coppock, Stephen Dowell in the XKR, and Damien Gray completing the top 15. Beyond that, Michael Atkinson was 16th, ahead of Derek Pearce and Dean Sewell recovering from their spins. Andrew Maynard, the final finisher. We lost David Ringham into the pits. Matthew Davis pulled over at Britain's. Chris Boone pulled into the pits early on, and Tom Barkley, as we saw, didn't take the start. He pulled into the pits at the end of the green flag lap. The cars are heading into Parc Ferme, and hopefully we will shortly hear from Ian Waterhouse, our interviewer, who will talk to our race winners in just a moment.
Let's just have a quick chat, Tom. I'll let you get your helmet off first. Obviously the bonnet is up early doors, which is not usually a good sign, but you did manage to hold on in the end. What's the problem?
Not sure yet. I was just getting quite a lot of smoke in the car on like the final 2 or 3 laps, but the car still felt like it was good, so I carried on. But James was snapping at my heels for the last bit there.
Well, you got past him, didn't you? And it looked like actually you're going to pull away and it was going to be quite straightforward, but then obviously something happened and James was right in your tail.
Just started easing it off, and I thought, well, nothing's obviously, it's still driving normally, so I wanted to not damage anything, so I thought, well, if I can keep it consistent, we can bring it home, which we did. So
well, what's coming up next is a personal favourite category of mine, because it is the cars that I grew up watching in the 1990s, the Laser Tools Super Touring cars. We saw them at Silverstone earlier this year. We've got a good field of Super Tourers here, including a couple of the original drivers as well. The grid forms up as follows. Number 79, Mark Jones, is on pole in his ex-Jason Plato Renault Laguna. Starts alongside Richard Wheeler number 8 in his Nissan Primera, the ex-David Leslie car. Second row is Anthony Reid, yes, the Anthony Reid. He's in a Nissan Primera as well. And number 98, John Cleland, two-time British Touring Car champion in his Vauxhall Vectra. Row 3 is Tony Absalom in the Mint Motorsports Vauxhall Cavalier. Starts alongside Jim Pocklington in one of the original Cavaliers from the very start of the Super Touring era in 1990. The fourth row, 33, Andrew Strachan. He's in a Ford Mondeo, one of the Andy Rouse-built cars. And alongside him, we should see number 7, Rob Salisbury with his Honda Accord. He qualified out of session, so he should be there at the back of the grid. We've also got the pre-03 touring cars sponsored by Bertie Haulage. We've got 6 cars out there for them. Reigning champion Gary Preble starts from their separate grid, number 191 in his Honda Civic. He'll start alongside 148 Don Hughes, winner at Brands Hatch early this season in his Peugeot 306. Then we've got 169 Ross Craig in his Honda Civic, 153 Simon Mann, he's in a BMW. And then Andy Abrams, very experienced saloon car racer, in 214, and number 114, Steve Barber, both in Honda Civics. Good to see Steve Barber back out after he blew his engine up in the previous round at Brands Hatch. The cars will be shortly released onto circuit, then it'll be a rolling start for this race. Earlier on, Ian Waterhouse caught up with a couple of the drivers down in the pit area.
Anthony Reid is over here. Let's see if we can have a quick word. I'll let you have some water first of all, Anthony. Now, last time I saw you, of course, we were at Silverstone, but Alton Park throws up a few more challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's changed the balance of the car. There's a lot more elevation here than there was at Silverstone last month. And we're battling to we're chasing rear grip. Yeah. The car's twitchy mid-corner. We've made some improvements yesterday and today. The confusing thing was that my lap timer, the in-car lap timer, wasn't working today. I put what I thought was a good lap in, and I was P1 at that point, so I came in after 4 laps. But it seems that these tyres take a number of laps to really come in, and all the quick laps came on the last lap after 7 laps. Richard went P1 with an incredible time of 48.5, but at the death, at the checkered flag, Jones just pipped him. But I'm happy because I made an adjustment on the in-lap and the car felt better. And I think we're in a really good situation. Second and third on the grid for the race this afternoon. Fantastic.
It's deceptively cold though, isn't it? Hence the reason why I guess it's taken a while to get the tyres warmed up.
Yeah, the temperature dropped. The sun kind of disappeared behind the clouds. And that made conditions a real challenge. Even my fronts, and you'd expect the fronts to come in really quickly, on lap 4, my last hot lap, were still, biting and losing grip, biting. They just weren't in. I should have stayed out to the end.
So the opening
I'll
few
know
laps,
to do that next time.
The opening few laps could be quite fun then.
Yeah. Well, I think the race will develop. You've got certainly 4 quick guys, including Cleland, in the top 4. And it could make for a really exciting race this afternoon.
It's going to be a cracker, isn't it? Anthony, thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy it, won't you? Right, almost time for the race. I better hand over to your commentator to take you through the action. Enjoy.
The pace car has pulled into pit lane, so it's Mark Jones and Richard Wheeler who will lead them up towards the rolling start for a 15-minute race as we go. Super Touring car racing here at Alton Park. We are underway. The grid is unleashed. What a sight they make. Further back of the pre-03s as well. Mark Jones and Richard Wheeler go toe-to-toe into Old Hall for the first time. David Leslie, a.k.a. Richard Wheeler, up alongside Jason Plato, a.k.a. Mark Jones, in the Renault, and it's the Nissan that will move ahead on the inside line into Cascades for the first time. Could almost be 1999, couldn't it? They're going to party like it's 1999 out there here at Alton Park today. Third place is Anthony Reid, and John Cleland in fourth as they head up towards Island Bend for the first time. Tony Absalom in the Mint Motorsport car is fifth. Then Jim Pocklington in the oldest car on the grid here. That's one of the very first Super Touring cars to be built for the 1990 season when the 2-litre rules first came in British Touring Car Championship. There's Pocklington with Strachan behind him in the Mondeo. Rob Salisbury, the ex-BMW racer, is next in the Honda Accord. 5 cars line astern as they go through Britons for the first time. Cleland in there in the Vectra, the 888 race engineering built car. Here comes Mark Jones trying to make a move down the inside, but it is Richard Wheeler who holds him off, the boss of Brisky Racing, who's run cars in various saloon car series over the years. Tony Absalom a bit wide there coming out of his lobs. Pre-03s are up with Rob Salisbury in the Honda. He had a few problems in qualifying, had to qualify out of session, which is why he started from the back. Gary Preble leads in the Honda Civic. Second, Don Hughes in the yellow Peugeot 306. Anthony Reid attacking for second place. He's raced touring cars all over the world. He contested the South African Championship. He raced Super Tourers in Japan as well, in an HKS-tuned Vauxhall Cavalier, or Opel Vectra, of course, as it was known outside the UK. Jones a bit slow off the corner there through Lodge. He's going to lose out to Reid, and Cleland could get through here as well in the Vectra. Jones on the inside. Oh, Richard Wheeler's lost it coming into Old Hall. Goodness me, what happened there? Completely sideways. I thought he was going to go into the tyre wall. That was a lucky escape for Richard Wheeler. He's pulled up on the grass there on the outside, and so the complexion of the race changes at the front. It's going to be Anthony Reid, and Andrew Strachan's off. Strachan in the tyre wall. Now, where is that? He's gone straight on into the tyre wall. Something's broken there. You can see bodywork on the grass. It's at Druids. He's gone straight on the entry to Druids. The Mondeo is in the tyre wall, but Andrew is moving around in the car. Looks like he's getting out. Yeah, good to see he's okay. That's a great shame. The beautiful Valvoline Mondeo. Here's a replay of Richard Wheeler. Did he have something wrong with the brakes there? He just suddenly locked up going into Old Hall Corner, sliding off to the inside, takes out a marker post. He was lucky the chasing pack wasn't closer to him there, else he could have been hit. Anthony Reid going through to take the lead of the race. Meanwhile, up at Druids, Andrew Strachan walks away in the Mondeo. He's just gone straight on there. He's gone off to the left of the circuit and looking straight on into the tyre wall. Safety car standing by as I expected with that car off at Druids. We have a red flag meanwhile, so the race is being stopped. There's the Mondeo on the back of the flatbed. Hopefully we'll see that damage repaired for race 2. And we've just had notification come through that it'll be a 5-minute sprint on this restart, so only chance for a couple of laps, but at least we're going to see some more racing laps from these cars, and they've got another race later on. Pace starting to quicken. And leading the independents class, we've got Mint Motorsports Cavalier. Well, it would have been Imperial, of course. There it is, the Fujifilm sponsored car. Tony Absalom at the wheel, ex-classic VW racer. Jim Pocklington behind in the Mobile 1 car as the lights go out and we're back underway. 5-minute sprint for the Super Tourers and the Pre-03s who are further back. John Cleland already on the attack on the back of Jason Plato, aka Mark Jones. 4th place, number 67, Tony Absalom, but it is Anthony Reid who leads the way. A legend of British motorsport. He's raced and won in a massive variety of categories. A touring car specialist. There go the Pre-03s. Already strung out. Andy Abrams holding off Simon Mann there as they go down the avenue towards Cascades. Super Tourers heading up towards Island Bend, and Richard Wheeler's already recovering. He's passed Rob Salisbury's Honda Accord and Jim Pocklington in the Cavalier built at the end of 1989. I think that might possibly have been one of the very, very first Super Touring rules cars ever built. Really is quite a museum piece, but Jim Pocklington has owned it for a number of years now and loves to race it in anger. Oh, up on the curb there, Mark Jones, trying to challenge for the lead held by Anthony Reid. A little bit of a lock-up from Pocklington as well. Here come the Pre-03s, Gary Preble ahead of Don Hughes. Jones has a look into the right-hander at his lop, so it's Knickerbrook. Rob Salisbury all over the back of Jim Pocklington, so getting the Honda Accord wound up. A flash of flame from the side exit exhaust. Look at that from John Cleland, the John Cleland liveried number 50, driven by Jim Pocklington. We can't have two John Clelands race. Oh, Salisbury's lost it. Commentator's curse there for Rob Salisbury, unfortunately. The ex-Paula Cook Honda Accord spins off. Now, he'd gone onto the gravel there, but he hadn't dug in, so hopefully he can back that out and keep going. 4th place battle's dropping away slightly now from the leaders, with Tony Absalom, aka Richard Kay, coming under fire. Oh, and Richard Wheeler in trouble again. There's something wrong with the left rear corner of that car, I think. Is the brake grabbing, I wonder? We thought it was cold tyres earlier on, but that's exactly the same as it did earlier on into Old Hall. I hope he's not going to do so again. The leaders go through, Reid, Jones, Cleland. Just under 3 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, they've got through for 4th and 5th. Okay, they're Absalom and Wheeler. Next through it's Pocklington. And then we've got the Pre-03s headed by Gary Preble, 2.5 seconds ahead of Don Hughes. Ross Craig is 3rd of them. Then we have got, we should have Andy Abrams come through next instead of Simon Mann. Barber and Strachan both out of the race, of course. There's yellow flags waving, I can see there in the background. Are we going safety car again? If we are, it will be for Rob Salisbury's car. Yeah, safety car's coming out again. It'll be for Rob Salisbury, who's stuck at Knickerbrook. So I imagine, with only just over 2 minutes left on the clock, that's going to bring an early end to this race, which is a shame, but at least they get another race later on. There's Salisbury walking away, the ex-BMW racer, in the car raced in period by Paula Cook in the colours of DC Cook Motorsports in the 1999 season. We'll see it again here. Is it cold tyres catching him out again? Just swings it out of Knickerbrook. The back end comes around on him. He just catches the edge of the gravel and beaches the front wheels. Well, we come to an early conclusion then. They're going to come up to take the checkered flag this time behind the safety car in our Laser Tools Super Touring race. There is the checkered flag. Reed the winner ahead of Jones. Cleland will take third place. Well, he's not showing as having crossed the line. His transponders stopped working again. Tony Absalom will take fourth ahead of Richard Wheeler, recovering from that spin in the Nissan. Jim Pocklington sixth, and then the Pre-03 touring cars won by the reigning champion Gary Preble in number 191. He takes seventh overall. Eighth place for Don Hughes in the Peugeot 306. Ninth, Ross Craig in his Honda. Andy Abrams completing the top 10. They're all in Class D of the Pre-03s. Class A runner Simon Mann, fifth overall. We lost Rob Salisbury into the gravel at Knickerbrook. We lost Andrew Strachan into the tyre wall at Druids, bringing out the red flag. And Steve Barber sadly never really got going in his Honda Civic. Well, what's coming up next is we're about to be thunderstruck. The Edmondson Electrical Classic and Historic Thunder Saloons, and they run combined with the Burton Power Products Blue Oval Saloon Series, or BOSS for short. Blue Oval Saloon Series is for everything Ford, of course. We will have a look at the grid in just a second for the combined Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloon race. And it is the man behind CNC Heads, who's got a couple of cars here this weekend. He's out in his series that he sponsors, the Northwest Sports and Saloons, later on. But in this race, he is in pole position with his Holden Commodore V8 supercar from Australia. Rick Wood on pole alongside Kevin Clark, number 771. He's in a BMW M3 CSL. The second row, number 74, running in the historic Thunder Saloons class, Neil Philpotts with his Mitsubishi Starion, alongside James Janicki, and he's in his awesome Nissan Skyline, number 19. Incidentally, we did see somebody asking in the YouTube comments earlier about the Calsonic Skyline. It is here. That's going in the CNC Heads Northwest Sports and Saloons later on, so you will see it out. That's Rick Wood's other car. James Janicki in his Skyline on the second row here. Row 3, Bradley Gelman. He's in a Ford Sierra Cosworth alongside Piers Grange. He's the quickest by far of the Blue Oval Saloon Series runners. The former champion in that series in his very modified Mark II Escort, 2.5 litre engine in that car. Row 4 is Nick Vaughan, Vaughan the Prawn as he's known, in his Audi A3, starting alongside 155 Jason Davies. The Welshman had a couple of wins in the Classic Thunder Saloons at Silverstone at the start of the season in his Ford Sapphire Cosworth. Row 5 is Dave Griffin, the Australian, at the wheel of his BMW M3. He'll start alongside Colin Voice, number 21, in his Escort Mark I. Row 6 is Fraser Huntley, all the way from Aberdeenshire, in his Super Touring Nissan Primera. More info on that car hopefully a little later on. Starting alongside Ian Craig, we saw his son Ross out in the previous race. Father Ian out in his BMW M3 here. Row 7 is AJ Owen, the former Pre-03 Touring Car Champion with his Honda Civic, alongside Simon Collier in number 224. He's in a space frame Vauxhall Tigra hot rod style car. Row 8 is Mike Manning, the veteran Welshman. He's the second of the Blue Oval Saloon Series cars in his beautiful Texaco liveried Ford Cosworth RS 500, alongside Martin Reynolds, the reigning Blue Oval Saloon Series champion, in his Ford Anglia. Row 9 is James Dunkley. He's in a Ford Fiesta XR2. Ex-MG midget racer James Dunkley alongside number 2 Sam Daffin in his Ford Fiesta. Then back onto row 10 of the grid, we have William Hunt, number 70. He's in a Fiesta as well, alongside Michael Rudge in 75, another Fiesta pilot. The final row of the grid, number 86, Colin Claxton. He's in his very smartly turned out Ford Escort. And Tim Mizzen at number 10 in a Fiesta completes the grid. So we should see 22 cars out there. It will be a rolling start, 15-minute race. The cars will be released very shortly, ready for a rolling start. Rick Wood and Kevin Clark on the front row of the grid, ready to rumble with the Edmondson Electrical Classic Thunder Saloons and the Burton Power Blue Oval Saloon Series for everything Ford. Pace begins to rise then, they're up towards the line, the red lights are on at the moment, they go out now and they thunder their way down towards Old Hall for the first time. Rick Wood, an Alton Park specialist, takes the lead in the Holden Commodore. Kevin Clark slots in a second. Look at the flames out of the back of the Holden, never mind the skyline of James Janicki. There's going to be flames everywhere in this race, I reckon. It's the V8 supercar. Look at the grunt of that Aussie beast as it heads down into Cascades. Pulls away from Clark in second. It's Phil Potts in third place in the Japanese machine, the Mitsubishi Starion. Now where's James Janicki's skyline got to? It was on the outside coming out of Old Hall. It was Bradley Gelman's Sierra in fourth place. There's the skyline side by side with Jason Davies in his Sapphire Cosworth. There's Martin Reynolds, the yellow, blue and white Escort. Well, lock up there from Kevin Clark, side by side. I thought he was going to clip the back of Neil Philpotts there in the Starion. They've all made it round the Shell Oils hairpin, this banked right-hander so far. Philpotts up alongside Bradley Gelman in the Sierra Cosworth, the black machine there. Philpotts stays ahead in third place, Gelman fourth, Davies fifth, Janicki down to sixth. Nick Vaughan in the Audi is in seventh place, a new car to the championship this season. It'll be Piers Grange leading the Blue Oval Saloon Series cars, I think. Here comes Jason Davies on the inside into Hislops, past Bradley Gelman, and up into fourth place. Said if you want to watch here, Jason Davies, regular in the Welsh Sports and Saloon Car Championship down at Pembrey. There's Piers Grange, the grey Escort, and his products will have transported many of the race cars to Alton Park today. He's the boss of PRG Trailers, specialists in race car transporters. Up towards Druids they go. There's Janicki in the skyline. No flames as yet, just a little bit of smoke there. And the outside, Jason Davies attacking Kevin Clark for second position. Gelman fourth, Phil Potts down to fifth in the Mitsubishi. Smoke out of the back of Jason Davies' car there as he powers his way up through Deer Leap. So we've seen a fair few bits of smoke so far, but we haven't seen any flames. Mike Manning a bit crossed up there in the Sierra as Davies goes through into second place past Kevin Clark. It's Rick Wood away and gone. He's already leading by nearly 5 seconds. He's gone out of sight, Rick Wood. We've only done one lap. Nobody going to catch the Holden. Oh, AJ Owen a bit wide over the curbs there. Flashing the lights there was Colin Voice. I think Colin may have a problem with the Escort, in fact. He seems to have slowed. Yes, Colin Voice in trouble, I think, with the Mark 1 Escort. Look at the way Jason Davies is going. He's just done the fastest lap of the race, 1:46.421, and he is closing on Rick Wood. So, well, Rick Wood escaped at the start, but he is going to be caught by the look of it here. Fraser Huntley is going to go past Piers Grange. Piers won't mind. Oh, there's the car's kicked up some dust. Neil Philpotts had an off in the Starion. He'll drop back down the order as a result. He's had a spin there at Cascades. Saying there, Piers Grange won't mind that Fraser Huntley's gone through. They're not only in different classes, they're in different championships. Thunder Saloon getting past the Blue Oval Saloon Series leader. Have a look at the class leaders in the meantime. Wood leads Class A. B is Jason Davies in second overall. Class C is being led by Fraser Huntley. There's Neil Philpotts on the recovery drive. He's battered Mitsubishi. The Class H2 for the Classic Thunder Saloons is being led by the Starion, the historic class. Class S by Simon Collier. No runners left in Class H3 because Colin Voice has retired the Escort. And in the Blue Oval Saloons, Piers Grange in the Class B car leads overall. Class C is Sam Daffin, the only entry in Class C. Class D for the Blue Oval Saloons. We'll have to look a bit further down the order for that one. It's being led by James Dunkley's Fiesta, so he's going to take the lead of the championship if it stays like this. And Class S is being led by Mike Manning. Sapphire Cosworth. There we saw a burst of flame from Bradley Gelman, but I think he's about to lose out to Fraser Huntley. Yes, the Scotsman goes through at Lodge Corner and up into fifth position. Coming up on Tim Mizzen in the Fiesta. Nick Vaughan out ahead of them in the Audi, and Gelman fighting back. using the grunt of the Sierra Cosworth, and retakes 5th place. They've dropped Piers Grange, who's down in 7th, still leading the Blue Oval Saloon Series though. But this man's going to win the race. The ex-Garth Tander Holden of Rickwood up over Deer Leap for the final time and up towards the checkered flag. A pretty dominant drive in the end for Rickwood. The Alton Park specialist takes the win. Still side by side here, Gelman and Huntley. It's going to be a fight right to the line for 5th position overall. Bradley Gelman will finish 4th in Class B of the Thunder Saloons. So Rickwood has taken the checkered flag. Jason Davies with a problem on the last lap. I thought he hadn't seen him come in. He's trickling over the line. He will still get 2nd place. He's clear of Kevin Clark. But problems on the last lap for Davies. He will take 2nd, and the gap ends up being 23 seconds. 3rd place is going to go to Kevin Clark. Nick Vaughan will take 4th place. But who is going to be in 5th position? Here's the Audi of Nick Vaughan home in 4th. The white flag out for slow-moving car on the circuit. That's the Sierra of Davies. Who's going to be 5th? Is it going to be the red Nissan or the black Sierra? It's the Nissan of Fraser Huntley. He takes 5th. Great fight between those two. 6th goes to Bradley Gelman. Just had notification of a penalty further back in the pack. AJ Owen, number 123, has been given a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits too many times. The Blue Oval Saloon Series is won by Piers Grange. He comes over the line in the Escort, 7th overall. Well clear of the next Blue Oval Series car, which is Mike Manning. But it's Rickwood with an overall win, eventually by 23 seconds, but that does not really reflect fairly the effort put in by Jason Davies, who had the gap down to less than 4 seconds at one point, but the Sierra letting him down on the last lap and he had to crawl home for 2nd. Kevin Clark in his BMW completes the podium. Confirm the full result then. Rickwood taking the win ahead of Jason Davies, with Kevin Clark in 3rd and Nick Vaughan in the Audi, a good result in 4th position. Fraser Huntley tops his battle with Bradley Gelman. Fraser Huntley the winner of Class C. It was Davies who took Class B despite those problems on the last lap. 7th overall was the Blue Oval Saloon winner Piers Grange. Neil Philpotts the winner of the historic Thunder Saloon class in 8th position. Ian Craig's BMW 9th, and AJ Owen, despite that 5-second penalty, takes 10th. 11th goes to Mike Manning, 2nd of the Blue Oval cars, and he wins Class S. 12th behind him was Simon Collier, winning Class S of the Thunder Saloons in the Tigra. A lap down in 13th was Martin Reynolds, then class winners Sam Daffin and James Dunkley in their Fiestas. 14th and 15th, that will put James Dunkley, I think, into the lead of the Blue Oval Saloon Series with Malcolm Harding absent. Behind them, 16th place went to Will Hunt's Fiesta. Mike Rudge's Fiesta was 17th, and Tim Mizzen's green and yellow Fiesta a couple of laps down in 18th. We lost Colin Claxton's Escort, of course. James Janicki and Colin Voice also pulled into the pits to retire during that race. We can now go down to Ian in Parc Fermé. He'll be able to talk to some of our top drivers from that combined race for the Thunder Saloons and the Blue Oval Saloon Series.
It's hot in here, isn't it? Blimey.
Oh, I tell you, yeah, until you've sat in it with your 3-layer overalls in, you don't quite appreciate how warm it is.
I know, I was just saying that. I've just got my T-shirt on. We've got look, there's James Dunkley as well. I wonder if James will give us a little wave. We'll catch up with you shortly, James. Don't you worry about that. And here we go. Let's grab our overall race winner, the Thunder champion, Rickwood. Good stuff indeed. We'll have a little look, see who else is about to. 10 seconds.
7 seconds, isn't it?
That was about. That's about 2 minutes. That, I think, Rick. Here he comes. Here we go. Our race winner. We made it.
Pardon the look.
I tell you, you're a lot quicker on track.
Thanks. Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, when you got the lead, you kind of just carried on and pulled a bit of a gap.
Well, this car is sort of built to do Bathurst 1000, so you know it takes a few laps to warm up. That's why I'm quite aggressive in the first few, in warm up, and then it's just beautiful to drive, and it just feels amazing. It just gets better and better.
Tyres have been a bit of an issue. People saying getting heat into tyres. Have you had a problem with that?
Yeah, getting heat into tyres. That's why I was really struggling. Does seem a bit slippy out there, but
It's on park, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone's got the same problem. So, but yeah, love it.
Next up it will be the Pultec Classic Race Engines Pre-66 Classic Saloons and Historic Touring Cars. They'll be signalled out of assembly very shortly. The oldest cars that we will see on the grid today, as we've already seen, quite a variety of cars in this field. Meantime, let's have a look at the grid then. Pole position is Alan Greenall in the Falcon, Barry Syme in the Mini, alongside a little and large front row. Second row, Roger Stanford. He's the first of the Lotus Cortinas, number 111. And Piers Grange, we've already seen him in his Mark II Escort. He's now in his Ford Mustang on row 2. Row 3 is another Ford Falcon. Tim Scott Andrews starts alongside James Ibbotson, the reigning champion, and his Hillman Imp, little and large again on row 3. On row 4 it's Nigel Cox, he's in a Lotus Cortina, and is the man alongside him, John McGurk. Row 5 is Robin Slater in his Ford Anglia, and Ben Truslove in the number 24 Lotus Cortina. He'll drive in race 1. John Truslove, I believe is Ben's father, takes over for race 2. Pat Keneally's Lotus Cortina on row 6 alongside Douglas Hill's Hillman Imp. Row 7, Nathan Williams, he's in a Mini alongside Mike Davies, the Davies twins sharing a Mini. John Davies will take over for race 2. Kevin Swan in his Ford Anglia is on row 8. We saw his son Jake race that car at Brands Hatch. Starting alongside Kevin is Michael Loveland in another of the Hillman Imps. Row 9, Eric Ez Walker in his Ford Anglia, and Andy Mesham, Mini veteran, in car number 5. The 10th row of the grid. It's a big grid, this one. We should see almost 30 cars out there. Nathan Beresford, he's in the BMW 1800 Ti, alongside the championship leader, Luke Wilson, currently unbeaten in Class D with his Austin A40. Another A40 is next. Steve Evans will drive the car in this race. Brian Bedford will take over that car for race 2, alongside Freddie Brown. We've not seen Freddie out yet in his Fraser Imp replica, the Hillman Imp on row 11. Row 12, Patrick Harris in a Morris Minor, and Paul Cooper in the Cortina GT. Row 13 is Michael Foley. He's also in a Morris Minor. Starts alongside... No, he's not actually. He's in a Lotus Cortina. I apologise. Ex-Morris Minor racer Michael Foley. He's in a Lotus Cortina alongside Stuart Radford in the Triumph Vitesse. Penultimate row, Keith Wright. He's back in his Morris Minor this weekend. We've seen him in a Lotus Cortina earlier this year. There's a different one to that of Michael Foley. They're not swapping cars. They are different machines that they race. And Tim Dodwell, number 83, in his Mini, who we just heard from. Anthony Warren starts at the back of the grid. Now, he's previously raced a Wolseley 1500 in this championship. He's now in an Austin A40. So we should see 29 cars, one of the biggest grids of the day here at Alton Park for the Pultec Classic Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars. Okay, here we go then. 15 minutes of classic racing coming up. The last couple of cars into line at the back of the grid. Tim Dodwell and Anthony Warnes. 5-second board is held aloft from the marshal on the pit wall, waiting for the red lights to come on. When they go out, we'll be underway. Revs rise, and off they go. Pre-66 touring cars underway. Wheel spinning start there from Alan Greenall. He's sliding about all over the place. Roger Stanford has a look up the inside, but Greenall, that car's so big it can easily hold the inside line. Barry Syme side by side with Roger Stanford as they charge their way through Old Hall. One of the Cortinas running wide in there. Somebody else running wide, I think that was Luke Wilson, the championship leader, further back. Tim Scott Andrews is out dragged down the avenue into Cascades. Barry Syme still second in the Mini. Third is Roger Stanford. Then it's Piers Grange. He's got ahead of Scott Andrews in that beautiful Falcon in 5th position. James Ibbotson in the little Imp up there in 6th place. They go along the straight towards the left-hander at Island Bend, then the Shell hairpin. What a magnificent sight. Could be 1966 all over again, couldn't it? The British Saloon Car Championship as it was known then. They head up into Shell Oil's hairpin for the first time. The big Falcon of Alan Greenall has got the Mini buzzing around on its tail. Barry Syme, the Scotsman. Roger Stanford up there in 3rd position, the man from East Yorkshire. One car showing as having not come through so far, Kevin Swan in the Anglia. We'll have to wait to see if he is there or whether that's a timing error. The leaders head up over the top for the first time, down the other side of Hilltop towards Knickerbrook for the first time, and Alan Greenall using the power of the big V8 Falcon to go clear. Is he heading for another victory here at Alton Park? James Ibbotson under fire from the Lotus Cortina of Nigel Cox, number 47. He's got Robin Slater in the Ford Anglia in behind him. One of the Cortinas sliding wide there. That was Pat Keneally, I think, number 201. 24 is the Truslove family car. Ben at the wheel for this one, and Kevin Swan is there. He's behind him in the 63 Anglia. They race their way up towards the completion of the first lap. Car number 111 has been given a penalty, a 10-second penalty for a false start. That's Roger Stanford in the Cortina. So Roger Stanford guilty of jumping the start, and he's going to be given a penalty, unfortunately. That will probably be applied after the race. So the leaders head round to the conclusion of the opening lap, and it is Alan Greenall who leads in the Falcon. 1 3/4 seconds clear. He's gone of Barry Syme in the Mini up there in second place. Rumble of that V8 as they head through. There's the next of the V8s. There go the leaders, Greenall, Syme and Stanford. We know Stanford is going to get that 10-second penalty for jumping the start, unfortunately. Class leaders, Class A is being led by Greenall, Class C by Syme, Class F by Roger Stanford. Coming up to lap 1 of the Minis there. The Mini takes to the escape road. Is that the Davies car? Has it joined in from the pits? Yes, it's back out there, having been into the pits. Mike Davies, that was who was moving out of the way there. Class E is being led by Ibbotson. Class B by Nathan Beresford, who's the only entry in that category. Class D by Patrick Harris, the former champion in the number 90 at Morris Minor. That's a maroon car, second in this group behind Freddie Brown in his Imp. In fact, I think we've lost the 97 car. Yes, Heel is out of the race, so we've also lost Mark Loveland as the leader goes wide there, coming through Knickerbrook. Now, Alan Greenall. Are his tyres beginning to go off, I wonder, or maybe his brakes, because Barry Syme is keeping him honest here. Greenall has done the fastest lap of the race now, 2:06.347. Stanford in third place, but we know he's got that penalty to be added on. Then Tim Scott Andrews has got ahead of Piers Grange in the battle of the V8s. There's battles everywhere you look, and these two are going to be lapped shortly. As Tim Dodwell's famous Mini gets ahead of Anthony Warnes. He's said in the build-up to the race, there's always somebody to race with down at the back. Race is purely for fun, does Tim. Here comes the fourth place battle. Piers Grange has got back ahead. In fact, they've both got ahead of Roger Stanford, so this is for third place now. That must have been in the back marker traffic there coming through Britons. And Grange is now third. Scott Andrews fourth. Roger Stanford is down to fifth. They're monstering up on Keith Wright's Morris Minor there. He moves to the right, lets them through. We'll see again what happened here. Oh, Stanford locked up. He's gone through the escape road. So things are going from bad to worse for Stanford. He went through the escape road there and he slowed to avoid gaining an advantage, and the two big V8s got past. Barry Syme closing, but it's going to be too late. He's not going to catch the big Falcon. It's been the little and large show once again at the front of the field in the Pultec 366 touring cars, and the large car is going to prevail. Alan Greenall takes his latest victory. Second goes to Barry Syme, a hard charge in the Mini. Got the gap down to just under 2 seconds at the flag. Here's a fight still going on. Roger Stanford on the tail of Tim Scott Andrews. It's going to be third place for Piers Grange. Stanford up alongside the Ford Falcon, which will simply put pedal to the metal over the line. And he's going to hold on to take the place, but see where Stanford ends up with that penalty applied as well. Alan Greenall who takes another win in the big Ford Falcon. He wins by 1.9 seconds at the flag. Barry Syme second in the Mini. Piers Grange completing the podium ahead of Tim Scott Andrews. Nigel Cox inherits the win in the Lotus Cortina class because of Roger Stanford's penalty. Robin Slater in seventh, then John McGurk, Pat Keneally and James Ibbotson. He may have lost out to the more powerful Cortinas, but he does win his category. Ben Truslove was next ahead of Kevin Swan, then Nathan Williams 13th, Ez Walker's Anglia 14th, and Nathan Beresford wins Class B, 15th place overall in the BMW. Behind them we had Andy Mesham's Mini. Luke Wilson wins Class D in the Austin A40. That continues his unbeaten run this year and keeps him in the lead of the championship. Behind him was Patrick Harris, then Freddie Brown in his Imp, Paul Cooper in the Cortina GT, then Michael Foley, Stuart Radford, Steve Evans, Tim Dodwell, who topped his battle with Keith Wright and Anthony Warnes. We lost Michael Loveland, Douglas Heel and Mike Davies. Well, another race for the Pultec 366 touring cars coming up a little later on. We can now hand down to our interviewer Ian Waterhouse down in Parc Fermé. He can talk to a few of the drivers.
Alan, you had that Mini all over you, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I couldn't relax for a moment.
I tell you what, it looks quite a sight. Yeah. This old beast. and that Mini going toe to toe. It's wonderful stuff.
Less of the old beast, thank you very much. You talking about the driver or the car?
Talk about myself, actually. But yeah.
Yes, no, he's very quick, Barry. You cannot afford to relax for a nanosecond because he'll be up the inside. So, yes, no, I'm very pleased that I've managed to focus.
Good. Well, you've got to do it all again later as well, Alan. Don't forget.
Yeah, I don't mind. If I'm starting at the front, it's a lot easier than somewhere down the pack.
Absolutely. Well done, Alan. Congratulations. Great racing. Let's have a chat with Barry here, shall we? Barry, all I can say is it makes incredible watching you in this Mini going toe to toe with Alan there.
Yeah, it's great fun. I'm sure it must be fun to watch, but it's very exciting to be in there. Obviously, Alan's just got the legs on the straights, but we keep him honest in the corners as ever.
I bet this car's made for Elton Park, isn't it?
Yeah, we've won round here before, so in the dry. No, Alan wasn't here, mind you, but so we're doing a bit of rain dance for later on, and hopefully a well-timed sprinkling of rain will just level the playing field and just give me the edge. But
Alan's sure you're going to get it today, but you never know.
Don't think so, but we come from Scotland, so we're used to the rain, so we brought some in the van.
Well, it could come any moment then if you cut down from Scotland, any minute.
Yeah, but no, terrific. A big thanks to the whole team. My dad who does most of the preparation, and Jonathan here mechanicking for us, and great. And Swift June did a great job on the engine again. So as you can see, up against the big V8. So bring it on for race 2.
As we get ready for our next race, which is a combined grid, the Orange Aero Pre-83 touring cars and the Laser Tools Pre-93 touring car championship races. Let's have a look at the grid then. Dave Griffin in the BMW is on pole in a lap in qualifying 9 seconds quicker than everyone else. I'm not quite sure how he's done that. I've never seen a qualifying margin that big before. Alongside him is the reigning Pre-83 touring car champion Stephen Primet in his Mark 1 Escort. Second row, Stuart Tranter with the Rover Tomcat Turbo. Rare car these days, alongside 179 Mark Spence in his beautiful Mazda RX-7. Row 3, a familiar face from earlier on, Mike Seaborn in his Jaguar XJS. He's doing the Pre-93 touring cars as well this weekend, lining up alongside Sam Goodwin-Laidler at the wheel of his Vauxhall Astra GTE. Great variety on this grid. Row 4 is Andy Sheraton, number 56, with his BMW E30, the Laser Tools livery car, alongside number 81 Mark Chollerton with a Mark II Escort RS2000. Row 5 is another Escort, that's of Jason Christie, number 10, alongside number 9 Graham Myers. He's in Pre-93 with a BMW M3. On the 6th row, 117 Will Davison. He's in an E30 BMW. That car's running in the Pre-83 touring cars. The grid's mixed in together. Alongside him is Mark Osborne at the wheel of his Triumph Dolomite Sprint. Yes, Mark Osborne, not David Osborne. Error on our entry list there, sorry about that. He's in a Triumph Dolly Sprint. Row 7 is Mostin Rutter. He's in a Vauxhall Firenze alongside Jake Margulies, driving the Alfa Romeo GT V6. I believe he's now driving in both races. It was meant to be his dad David taking over for race 2, but Jake will now drive in both races with the Alfa. It's an Andy Rouse lookalike car, that one. Row 8 is number 13, Andrew Smith, 80 years young, at the wheel of his Honda Civic, and Gary Fletcher alongside him in the second of the Vauxhall Firenzes. Row 9 is number 6, Anton Martin. He's at the wheel of a Ford Escort Mark III RS 1600i. And alongside him will be number 51, Jason Andrews, sharing that BMW with Josh Smith. This weekend, Josh will drive in race 2. And at the back of the field, we will have Peter Millington. He's at the wheel of a Hillman Avenger. We may well see Byron Aldous in his VW Corrado as well. He missed qualifying. We'll have to wait to see whether he's rectified his problems and can make it out to make up the grid to 20 cars. Green flag is waved at the back of the grid. 5-second board is held aloft, waiting for the red lights to come on. Pre-83 and Pre-93 touring cars. Combined grid, the red lights are on. Quite a long hold on the red lights, but we get underway. Now, what sort of start is David Griffin going to make from pole position in the BMW? He's made a fairly decent one. Look at Mark Spence coming up on the outside in the Mazda RX-7. Stephen Primet moves across to take the line. Griffin and Primet together into the first corner. They're already clear of the field. Oh, Spence ploughs off in the RX-7 onto the grass. That's a great shame. He manages to rejoin without spinning, but he's lost a few places down towards the back of the field. Mike Seaborn's got away well, so has Sam Goodwin-Laidler in the Astra. It's Griffin who leads. Second place is the escort of Stephen Primet. Stuart Tranter in the Rover is up there in third position as they stream their way out towards the back of the circuit, out into the country. Goodwin Laidler's up to fourth in the Astra. Mike Seaborn in the big Jag is in fifth position. That's where he finished in the Jaguar Challenge race earlier on today. Jason Christie's made a good start. The Mark 1 Escort up there, passing Mark Osborne's Triumph. Then we've got Mark Chollerton and Graham Myers. So they all filter their way out of the shell hairpin. A bit sideways there for Will Davison in his BMW. Last couple of cars make their way through. They slow for the chicane at Britain's. The left, the right, then the left again. Will Davison side by side with a similar E30. He passes Andy Sheraton. Lives just down the road from the Cadwell Park circuit in Lincolnshire, the owner of that Laser Tools BMW. Mark Spence fighting back up the outside there in the RX-7, using the power of the rotary engine to get through. Great to see a Rover Tomcat out there. We should have seen two, as we said, but owing to illness, David Nixon having to cancel his entry. There's Graham Myers with his E36 BMW. Charge their way up the hill towards the right-hander and Druids. Griffin leads, Primet second, both leading their respective championships. A lot of different subclasses down the field, which we'll pick up on later on. Mark Chollerton in the 81 Escort there, clear of Graham Myers. Chollerton, a builder based over in Norfolk. Jason Christie running well here in the number 10, snaking a little bit under braking there for the right-hander at Lodge. Myers under fire from Spence, had that off at the start. Griffin leads from Primet by 1.2 seconds, just under, at the end of the opening lap. Tranter third, then Goodwin Laidler, Seaborn fifth in the Jaguar, then Jason Christie in a rather tail-happy Mark 1 Escort is in sixth position. He's gained 3 places around that first lap. Mark Osborne's gained 5 places after a relatively lacklustre qualifying for the black Triumph. He's just behind. Here comes Mark Osborne. Jason Christie turns in, trying to hold the place. He does so. Sliding the Escort about there, Mark Chollerton getting aboard as well in the number 81. Osborne tries again. The Triumph Dolomite Sprint pulls alongside the Escort. This time he's going to go through. Up the hill towards Druids, and the Welshman moves ahead, and here comes Chollerton as well. Graham Myers behind. Mark Chollerton to the inside. Christie's losing place. He seems to be struggling a bit with the handling of his Mark 1 Escort. You see it slide out again there. Chollerton goes through. Here comes the 24, the Seaborn XJS, trying to go around the outside at Cascade. Something flew off. I think that might have been one of the wing mirrors there. And Seaborn moves ahead, the power of the Jag telling there. Midfield battle goes through there. Is Seaborn now up into third place. And Jason Christie all trying too hard there at Island Bend. He's lost it onto the grass. Now, whether that's his handling problem returning, or whether he's just a bit over-exuberant around the outside at Island Bend there. At least he didn't reach the tyre wall. He's got the car stopped. There's Sam Goodwin Laidler. Yes, he's being caught by Myers and Spence. Oh, Spence has a look there, nearly clips the side of Graham Myers. Yeah, there's definitely something amiss, I would say, with that Astra, and through goes Mark Osborne. He's got the Triumph Dolomite through into third place, into fourth place now, I should say, past the Rover of Stuart Tranter. Well, Sam Goodwin Laidler fights back. Excuse me, he says to Stuart Tranter. Yeah, Tranter's got a problem with the Rover. He's slowing down. Towards the checkered flag, up out of Deer Leap. He got the start absolutely right this time in a dominant drive by David Griffin. He takes the win. Second will go to Stephen Primet. 2.3 seconds the gap at the flag, so Griffin pulling away a bit on that final lap. Pre-83 success goes to the champion Stephen Primet. Well done to Mark Spence fighting back up the order after that's off on the first corner. There is the beautiful RX-7. It's got ahead of Sam Goodwin Laidler. That Astra struggling a bit in the last couple of laps. Third goes to Mike Seaborn in the Jaguar. It's Mark Osborne fourth, then Chollerton, Myers, Spence, Goodwin Laidler, Davison and Sheraton. Griffin the winner ahead of Primet by 2.3 seconds. Primet wins the pre-83 splits. Mike Seaborn third, and he wins his class in the pre-93 touring cars in the Jag. Mark Osborne takes fourth in the Triumph ahead of Mark Chollerton and Graham Myers. Seventh goes to Mark Spence in the RX-7, and 8th place and a Class C win in pre-93 goes to Sam Goodwin Laidler's Astra. 9th place goes to Will Davison in the BMW, battling with Andy Sheraton. He wins pre-93 Class D. Jason Christie recovered from his spin at Island Bend to take 11th in the Escort. Mostin Rutters Vauxhall Firenze. Jake Margulies was 13th. Byron Aldous from the back of the grid takes 14th ahead of Gary Fletcher in his Firenze. And the two cars we saw battling right to the end both won their classes. Anton Martin 16th and Andy Smith in 17th. We lost Stuart Tranter into the pits. The only other finisher was Jason Andrews, a lap down in his BMW. There he is, just behind our race winner, as they head towards the pit lane and Parc Fermé. We've heard plenty of interviews with David Griffin this year, and we're going to hear from him again shortly, having taken another win here at Alton Park. This time he got the start right. Normally see him struggle off the line a bit, but no problem at all this time for Dave Griffin, and we can hear from him shortly because Ian Waterhouse will be down in Parc Fermé.
David, it wasn't as easy as we thought it might have been.
No, it's a bit greasy out there actually, and there was a bit of fluid around, so we've been a little bit careful. I was conscious if I'm the first one to find that fluid or whatever and put it into the fence.
I suppose that's the perils of being a pole, isn't it? So if there's anything out there that nobody knows about, you're the first to hit it.
Yeah, exactly right. It's so much fun driving around that track. I used to watch it when I was a kid in Australia, British superbikes, British touring cars, and it looks so amazing. So just driving it, I'm so glad CTCRC bring us here and Laser Tools put on this for us. It's been brilliant.
Fantastic, congratulations. We speak to you a lot, don't we,
Thanks,
David? But that's what happens when you win all the time. Congratulations, Stephen Primmett as well. Stephen, congratulations. I'll tell you what, you didn't let him get away, did you?
I think he was driving a half throttle, to be quite fair.
He was saying it was quite slippy out there, a bit greasy at places. So I think he might have been a bit tentative.
I really don't think so.
What was it like for you? I mean, picking up the win, obviously, in class?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a bit lonely, a bit like a track day, but it's quite nice. I think he's just watching me and thinking, I'll just make it look nice for the TV.
No way.
Getting ready for race 2 for the Berkshire Jag Components Jaguar Challenge, and it's based on the result, as we say, this grid of race 1. In pole position will be number 4 of Tom Robinson. He is there, so he's repaired whatever the problem was towards the end of race number 1. Alongside him, 99 of James Ram. Second row, 67 Colin Philpott and number 11 Michael Holt, the two Class C cars. Row 3, the first of the Class B cars, Mike Seaborn, the reigning champion, and number 77 Tom Lenthal. Row 4, 54 of Rick Walker and 62 the first Class A car of Tim Morant. On the 5th row, Andrew Harper in the silk cut liveried diesel powered car, and Jack Robinson in the number 14, 10th on the grid. Row 6, Guy Connew, number 44, a Jag veteran, alongside Simon Lewis, number 31 in the ex-Ian Drage car. Row 7, Lawrence Coppock and Stephen Dowell. 8th row, Damien Gray in his XJ40, Michael Atkinson's X300. Row 9, Derek Pearce and Dean Sewell, both suffered spins in the opening race. The 10th row, number 63, Andrew Maynard, alongside 45, David Ringham, who dropped out of race 1. On the 11th row is Matthew Davis, and alongside him, Chris Boone. They both retired from race 1 as well, while Tom Barkley, driving Tom Butterfield's XJS, sadly didn't make the start of race 1. Had to pull in at the end of the green flag lap with the problem. He'll start from the back, hopefully, in this one. Okay, almost ready for a start then. The second race of the weekend for the Berkshire Jag Components Jaguar Challenge. The red lights are on. Tom Robinson and James Ram on the front row. The lights are out and we get underway. Good start by James Ram in the number 99 XJS, and a great start by Michael Holt down the outside in the number 11. They're going to be 3 wide on the road in the first corner. A poor start for Tom Robinson. It's Ram that leads. Holt up into second place around the outside, and Tom Robinson goes down to third place from pole position. Bit of dust kicked up there from Michael Atkinson and Chris Boone towards the back of the pack. But now Tom Robinson has some work to do. He's got Colin Philpott on his tail as they head through Cascades for the first time. Trying to get some heat into their tyres over the opening lap of this race. These big, at times unwieldy machines, the drivers having to work hard to handle them. James Ram knows how to handle an XJS. He's got the lead. Colin Philpott challenging for third place there on the back of Tom Robinson as they charge down towards the Shell Oils hairpin for the first time. Clear in the lead at the moment, it is James Ram, the number 99. Second place is Michael Holton, dropping a wheel onto the grass there, Tom Robinson. He's kept it on the straight and narrow though, through Britons for the first time. Robinson third, Philpott fourth. Oh, and we've got an incident there, that's Rick Walker. Rick Walker has crashed the number 54 car, and the lean green racing machine certainly doesn't look so lean now. That'll be a safety car, I think. Has he had some contact in there, I wonder? We didn't see. Yeah, the safety car is coming out. Let's hope Rick Walker's okay. And in fact, I think the red flag is coming out. There's confirmation the red flags are out. We hope Rick Walker's all right. So the reason for the red flag is the damage to the tyre wall. You can see there, Rick Walker appears to be okay. He's out of the car. 10 minutes of racing for the Berkshire Jag components. Jaguar challenge, the revs are up, the red lights are on, away they go. Another good start by James Ram. Yellow flags waving there, somebody struggling to get away. Ram moves to the inside, and even worse start this time for Tom Robinson. He's down to about 5th place. Ram leads it, Holt up into second, Colin Philpott this time in third. Robinson has managed to hold 4th position. I noticed one car restarting from the pits as well. It was the number 88 of Damien Gray. Well, Tom Robinson trying to get a better start, but he's made a worse one. Sadly, he's down into 4th place. Oh, Mike Seaborn going off. He runs wide, battling with Tom Lenthal. He'll go over the grass there. That's spoil tip for the reigning champion in the 24. He'll rejoin towards the back of the field. James Ram leads it from Michael Holt. Third is Colin Philpott, then Tom Robinson, Tom Lenthal. Tim Morant's got a good start up into 6th place in the number 62. There's Damien Gray, number 88, having joined him from the back. I think it was Andrew Harper, unfortunately, who struggled off the line. Saw the yellow flags flying alongside the grid from the marshals. 31 Simon Lewis under fire from Jack Robinson in the number 14, the XJ40. One of a number of Swallows Racing prepared cars in this field. As they head round on the opening lap of this restarted race for the Big Cats. Michael Atkinson under fire from Lawrence Coppock in the pack there. Side by side into Britons, that rarely works. It's worked for Mike Seaborn, though he's got ahead of Matt Davis in the number 50 car. It's another of the Swallows Racing cars. He's got Tom Barkley behind him in the number 17. They file their way down the midfield into Hislops and then Knickerbrook. The 3 XKs running together there. Seaborn trying to move back up. He's alongside Dean Sewell in the Series 1 XJ6. Squeezes him to the outside through Knickerbrook, but no problem on the exit. The XJS powers through. Wait to see who's going to be leading the way as they come through to complete the opening lap of this restart. Matt Davis under fire from Barkley. They're closing up on Sewell as well. Behind them is Andrew Harper. So yes, sadly it was him who stalled on leaving the grid. Made up a couple of places though. James Ram with the lead as they come up to complete the opening lap. He leads over the line. We watch the midfield battle head through Lodge Corner. There is Ram. Second place is still Michael Holt, and Tom Robinson trying to move up to attack Colin Philpott, who in turn is closing up on Holt for second place. Michael Holt still ahead at the line, but here comes Philpott down the inside as they go into Old Hall. He goes through, up into second place, and more importantly takes the lead of the class. Had to change the lead in Class C. Now here comes Robinson. This is his chance to try and move up onto their tails down into Cascades. Holding the inside line, Colin Philpott in second place. Holt still in third. Here's a battle further back. Lawrence Coppock, Michael Atkinson, and that's Mike Seaborn recovering after his off earlier on. Main focus is this battle for second place though. Robinson's got through ahead of Michael Holt as they headed along Lakeside there. Now got Michael Atkinson and Derek Pearce closing up. I wonder if that's because Stephen Dowell's dropped some oil there. Yeah, Derek Pearce has gone wide. I think the 69 car may have dropped a bit of oil on its way back to the pits. Oh, Mike Seaborn's off again. What is going on with the 24? Tough day for Mike Seaborn. He had a good run to 5th and a class win in race 1. Now, is he still leading the class? Yes, but only just. Michael Atkinson second in Class B is now right behind him. Most he can hope for here now, Mike Seaborn, is a class win. But it is going to be a win for James Ram in the number 99, the man from Dunmow in Essex. Had to settle for second place in the first race. No problem for him this time, leading all the way. There is the checkered flag. James Ram comes in to win. Number 1, he signals as he crosses the line. Colin Philpott, well done to him, holding on for second. He wins Class C. Tom Robinson is third. Michael Holt takes 4th. James Ram got the fastest lap, 1:59.67, the only lap under 2 minutes in the whole race. He takes the win by 5.5 seconds ahead of Colin Philpott. He wins his class, that's Class C. Tom Robinson has to settle for third this time, and Michael Holt in fourth place. Tom Lenthal rounds out the top 5. Tim Morant, an excellent win in Class A in 6th overall. And well done, Jack Robinson, a fine 7th ahead of Lawrence Coppock. Simon Lewis, with that 10-second penalty, drops to 9th place. Mike Seaborn fighting back to 10th, a fraught race for him. 11th place going to Michael Atkinson, just behind Mike Seaborn in the Class B standings. Derek Pearce behind them, and Chris Boone 13th from the back of the grid, along with Tom Barclay and Damien Gray, who started from the pits, completing the top 15. Dean Sewell was next home ahead of Matt Davis and Andy Maynard. And Andrew Harper, I think, was the final finisher. We lost Stephen Dowell as we saw into the pits in the XKR. The Jaguars heading into Parc Fermé, and we await Ian to meet them down there and have a chat to the drivers in just a few moments' time. So down to Ian Waterhouse as the big cats head into Parc Fermé.
I'll let you get that off, James, because I know there's a big smile underneath that helmet. What a cracking race. Of course, we had the red flag. It's been a lengthy time. You've been sat in this car for a long time now, haven't you? How relieved are you to get the win and to get out?
Don't I normally speak to you second?
Normally. Yeah. I thought we'd shake things up this afternoon.
Yeah, so did I.
How was it out there? I know, obviously, the red flag, it kind of difficult to get a rhythm, but when you got out there, you're just lightning quick.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable in the car, and I really like this place. And
it shows.
Yeah, it was just felt on it. I thought if I could get in front of Tom, there was half a chance of staying in front of him, and he got balked at the start, and I think Colin probably held him up a bit. So yeah, absolutely thrilled to bits.
Great weekend for you, hey?
Yeah, superb, mate. Thank you very much.
James.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
Well, what's coming up next on their way to the grid are the Laser Tools Super Touring cars, accompanied by the Bertie Haulage pre-2003 touring cars. Checking the result of race 1, no amendments to the result of the first race, so the grid for race 2 lines up as follows. Anthony Reid in pole position in the Nissan Primera, starting alongside Mark Jones in the Renault Laguna. John Cleland on the second row alongside Tony Absalom in the Cavalier. Richard Wheeler and Jim Pocklington on row 3, then it will be Rob Salisbury. Andrew Strachan in the Mondeo should have been there, but that's damage not repairable from race 1, so it looks like the Mondeo is not there. Then there's a gap, and we've got the pre-03 touring cars. Gary Preble will head them in his Honda alongside Don Hughes and the Peugeot. Ross Craig and Andy Abrams in their Hondas on the second row. And the final row of the grid, Simon Mann in the BMW. And hopefully Steve Barber will be there in his Honda Civic. Ready to party like it's 1999 once again. Anthony Reid and Jason Plato, aka Mark Jones, on the front row of the grid. Second row, John Cleland in his Vectra from 1998. The pace car is in pit lane. The red lights are on. 15 minutes of racing to come. Lights go out and we are underway. Super Tourers lead the charge. Listen to the roar as they head down into Old Hall for the first time. Anthony Reid takes the lead on the inside. John Cleland trying to follow him. Tony Absalom side by side with Richard Wheeler in the ex-David Leslie Nissan. Jim Pocklington in behind them. A slightly slower start for Rob Salisbury. Spun out of race 1 at Knickerbrook in the Honda Accord. He's got Gary Preble on his tail. He wants to move up and play with the Super Tourers as well. Don Hughes and Ross Craig in behind them. Then Abrams, Mann, and I think we've lost Steve Barber again. More problems for the black Honda Civic with Jim Pocklington at the back of the leading group. But it's Anthony Reid who leads the way in the ex-German Super Tourenwagen Cup Nissan, owned by Richard Wheeler. Mark Jones in second place, chased by John Cleland. They come into Britons for the first time, over the curbs. Such a wonderfully evocative sight, these cars. There's Richard Wheeler in the number 8, aka David Leslie, chasing down John Cleland. He's got past Tony Absalom in the Mint Motorsport Cavalier. Trying to challenge our 3 leaders, Reid, Jones, Cleland. Running a bit wide there, the Renault of Mark Jones. There's Tony Absalom. So the 4 works cars up front, then we've got the independent runner. So it would be at least in period. Of course, the first independent to win outright in the British Touring Car Championship at the Donington season opener in 1999 was, of course, Matt Neal. One of the BTCC's all-time greats. Had that fierce rivalry over the years with Jason Plato. Here's a battle at the back, Andy Abrams and Simon Mann in the Cadbury's BMW. Cadbury's used to sponsor British Superbike racing. One of the teams sponsored by Cadbury's Boost at one time. Have you ever seen a dairy milk liveried car? St Rob Salisbury's Honda there slowing up a little. Is he coming into the pits? No, he's not. There go the pre-03 pace setters, and yep, Gary Preble is definitely playing with the Super Tourers here. He's got ahead of Jim Pocklington's Cavalier now. Number 8 of David Leslie, aka Richard Wheeler, closes up on John Cleland. Mark Jones is going to try and have a go at Anthony Reid for the lead into Knickerbrook. He won't get through there. He's keeping it steady through there. They know the value of these cars these days. Here come your leaders, and Richard Wheeler having a look inside John Cleland. He goes through at Druids. Through goes the Nissan, so Nissan's now first and third. Good move there by Wheeler. Now he's going to try and make it a Nissan 1-2. Don Hughes goes through in the Peugeot, passes Pocklington. Ross Craig will try to follow him. Up towards Druids they come. And now Richard Wheeler's having a look. Is he going to squeeze his way past Mark Jones? No, you don't, says Jones. Defends with the Renault. He might get through on the run into Lodge here. Oh, and Jones moves across there. He's giving Richard Wheeler room. The Nissan seems to be quicker in a straight line. He's got the line for Lodge Corner, and he goes through up into second place. Nissan's 1 and 2. And here comes John Cleland now. That loss of momentum for Mark Jones could leave him prey to Cleland. This is allowing Anthony Reid to escape into the lead. He's going to make it 2 wins out of 2 for the Primera today. Gary Preble up the inside into Old Hall. He's going for it, and he's going through. Oh, superb from Gary Preble. Charges his way past Tony Absalom. Over hilltop they go. Wheeler's in the fastest lap, 149.978. He's having a look up the inside into Knickerbrook on the brakes. The right-hander, he's through. Wheeler goes into the lead. Superb move there. That came out of nowhere. Through the chicane they go. Cleland tries again. Is he going to try and pull the same move that Richard Wheeler did on Anthony Reid down into Knickerbrook? They're lapping Rob Salisbury's Accord. Reid holds that second place. Reid against Cleland, just like they would have raced back in the late 90s. Look out, Rob Salisbury. That was close. Meanwhile, Ross Craig dives to the inside, passes Pocklington. No problem. Certainly enjoying his race here, Ross Craig. Oh, problems there. That's Anthony Reid spinning off. He's into the gravel. Oh, disaster for Reid. Can he keep going? Can he keep it going? He hasn't bogged down in the gravel. He's going to recover. Well done, Anthony Reid. Keeps it going. Now, that was a very similar incident to the one involving Richard Wheeler in race 1. The back just seemed to snap round on him. Is it a problem with the rear brakes on the Nissans, I wonder? He's lost second place to John Cleland. He's lost third to Mark Jones. So the stars of the past bragging rights are going to go to John Cleland in this one. It's Richard Wheeler out in front, though, in the ex-David Leslie Primera. He's heading for victory. Make up for his problems in race 1. Cleland in second place. Now, can Anthony Reid catch and pass Mark Jones and retake third? It's unlikely. Wait and see, though. Up the hill they go towards Druids for the final time. Into the right-hander. It's going to be a double for Nissan here at Alton Park in the latest round of the 1999 British Touring Car Champ. Sorry, got carried away there. It's going to be a double for Nissan here at Alton Park in the Laser Tools Super Touring Revival Series. Up towards the checkered flag, Richard Wheeler takes the win. John Cleland comes over in second in the Vectra, and they're well clear of their opposition. Mark Jones comes over for third for Renault. 3 different manufacturers in the top 3 places. And Well done, Anthony Reid, recovering for 4th place after that spin. In 5th position, Gary Preble has steamrolled his opposition in the Bertie Haulage Pre-03 touring cars. He's been taking on the Super Tourers. He's well clear even of Tony Absalom in the Cavalier. Here he comes. He may be the king of Castle Combe. He's the king of Pre-03 touring cars now. What a dominant drive by Gary Preble. Flashes his lights, crosses the line for 5th. Richard Wheeler taking the win, just over 2 seconds clear of John Clellan, with Mark Jones in 3rd. Anthony Reid recovering after that spin to take 4th place. Gary Preble dominating the Pre-03 category in 5th position overall, ahead of Tony Absalom's Cavalier. 7th overall for Don Hughes and 8th for Ross Craig. Jim Pocklington crossing the line 9th. 10th place going to Andy Abrams in his Honda, and Simon Mann winning Class A of the Pre-03s in 11th place overall. We lost Rob Salisbury into the pits in the Honda, and of course Andrew Strachan and Steve Barber didn't take the starts. We can hand down to the crew in Parc Ferme then. Ian Waterhouse and crew are down there to talk to our leading runners, following a wonderful day of Super Touring revival racing here at Alton Park.
I think, unfortunately, Richard Wheeler is going to disappear down the pit lane. What a drive that was for him. We did chat to him a little bit earlier as well. Pinch me moment, isn't it? He's pretty much done what we all kind of dreamt of doing, haven't we? Overtaking Anthony Reid, going toe-to-toe with John Clellan and getting the win in a Super Tourer. Oh, my word. This is quite incredible. John, you were certainly going for that, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a challenge. Richard made a dive going up into Druids, which removed the door mirror, which I will send him a bill for.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, it was close, and the cars were starting to get a bit lively, and I knew that eventually I could grab the Renault, but Anthony just made a mistake going down through Cascades, locked the rears, and it jumped in the gravel.
Just like the good old days, eh, John?
I gathered there was something going on.
What happened, Anthony? What's it?
Yeah, it was all going fine. Richard was too quick for me, so he got past me later in the race, and I was plodding on a 1-2. And but coming into Cascades, very high-speed part of the circuit, the brake pedal went to the floor. There was no front brakes at all. The rears just locked up and spat me through the gravel. But it was all going very nicely up until then.
It was. We got the race we wanted, didn't we? There in the end, made up for race 1, didn't it?
Congratulations to Richard Wheeler.
He's disappeared down the pit lane. He didn't want to talk to me, I think.
He's been a revelation.
Yes, I think.
Somebody who's come out of club racing and can run with the best at the front in Super Touring. That's no mean feat. Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloon Series are out next then for race number 2. It'll be a rolling start. Cars on their way to the grid. It'll be based on the results, this grid of race 1. Rick Wood will start in pole position with the Holden Commodore alongside Jason Davies in his Sapphire Cosworth. Hopefully he's rectified the problem that slowed him on the last lap of race 1. Kevin Clark's BMW and Nick Vaughan in the Audi A3 on row 2. Third row, Fraser Huntley in the Nissan Primera and Bradley Gelman in the Sierra Cosworth. They had a great scrap in race 1. Fourth row, Piers Grange in his Blue Oval Saloon Series dominating Escorts, and Neil Philpotts in the Mitsubishi Starion, or Starion, whichever way you want to say it. We still haven't agreed on that yet. Row 5 is Ian Craig's BMW, AJ Owen's Honda. He got a penalty for exceeding track limits in race 1. Sixth row, Mike Manning's beautiful Cosworth RS500, Simon Collier in the Tigra Silhouettes. Row 7, a pair of Fords, Martin Reynolds in his Escort, Sam Daffin's Fiesta. 2 more Fiestas next, James Dunkley and Will Hunt. And another couple of Fiestas on row 9, Michael Rudge and Tim Mizzen. Then we've got the cars that didn't make it home in race 1. Colin Claxton in his Escort RS 1800. James Janicki in the Skyline hopefully is there
and Colin Voice. A rare retirement for his Mark 1 Escort in race 1, running in the historic classes of the Thunder Saloons. Rick Wood and Jason Davies, the front row, are certainly there. Let's see if they can pull away in the early stages. It's 15-minute race. Classic Thunder and Blue Oval Saloon Series combined grid. Bit of smoke there from Bradley Gelman's car. He's a bit over-eager on the route to the lights. The lights go out and we're underway. They charge their way down to Old Hall. Wood on the inside, Davies on the outside. Nick Vaughan's got a good start in the Audi A3. He's up there with them. Bradley Gelman in 4th place in the Sierra Cosworth as they thunder their way down towards Cascades for the first time. Jason Davies has got the inside line in the Sierra, and he's going to go through on the inside, takes the lead from Rick Wood. Great move by Jason Davies. Nick Vaughan up there in 3rd place, then Bradley Gelman. Ian Craig is 5th in the BMW. Maybe a slightly reduced grid here, but certainly no less spectacular. It's Jason Davies looking for win number 3 this season. He had a double win at Silverstone at the opening meeting of the year, but Rick Wood, an Alton Park specialist, sliding his way out of the hairpin there on his tail in the big Aussie Holden. Ford against Holden at the front of the field. Could almost be at Bathurst, couldn't we? Nick Vaughan up there in 3rd in the Audi, that's going well. Bradley Gelman 4th, then it's Mike Manning, Ian Craig and AJ Owen. Seen his dad Craig Owen race his Sierra Cosworth in the series this year. That's on the sidelines with a bit of damage from Silverstone, I think, at the moment. Wonderful if Nick Vaughan the Prawn, as his supporters call him, could get a podium for the first time here. There goes AJ Owen, multiple Pre-03 champion, has upgraded the spec of that Honda to Thunder spec. Behind him, Simon Collier running well in the Tigra. Who's going to take the Blue Oval Saloon Series battle then? Have a look at that a little further back. And look at James Janicki, he's already up there with Collier, so into the top 10. Blue Oval Saloons are being led by Martin Reynolds, the reigning champion. He's got some supporters in our YouTube chat at the moment. He's got James Dunkley on his tail as well in the Fiesta. And 3rd is Sam Daffin of the Blue Oval Saloon Series, completing the first lap. 1.3 seconds in it between Jason Davies and Rick Wood. Ford in 3rd, then Gelman, Manning, Craig and AJ Owen. There's the 3rd place fight, Nick Vaughan in the Audi. He's going to have to have a look here at AJ Owen. James Janicki used to race in the Nippon Challenge for Japanese cars of all shapes and sizes. Some very quick Nissan 200 SXs and Mitsubishi GTOs I remember in that series a few years ago. He breezes past AJ Owen, no problem down the straights. Davies leads by just over a second up ahead of this group though. Rick Wood has just done the fastest lap of the race, and Ian Craig under fire. The skyline goes past him up into 6th position. Here's Mike Manning. Here's James Janicki, straight round the outside down the straight up into 5th position. A puff of smoke there from the skyline, and here are the leaders. Davies being chased down by Rick Wood in the ex-Garth Tander Holden Commodore. Here's AJ Owen, still chasing Ian Craig, and Wood's going to go to the outside as they come down into Old Hall. He's going to have to be very late on the brakes to make this work. They're still side by side. He's going to try and out-drag him as they come off the corner. He must have got the slipstream there coming out of Deer Leap, and he's done it. Good driving by Rick Wood. He's taken the lead from Jason Davies. He must have got into the slipstream as they came out of Lodge Corner there along the straights, and was able to get the car stopped and get round the outside to out-drag the Ford down the avenue. But Jason Davies is not finished yet. Here's Mike Manning, Ian Craig and AJ Owen, and Mike Manning's in trouble. He pulls to the side there. Is that a problem with the Sierra? I think it is. I thought he'd maybe just taken a half spin off the curb there coming out of Old Hall, but yes, Mike Manning's in trouble. Now, who's this going to give the lead in the Blue Oval Saloons to? I think it's going to be Martin Reynolds Escort. And here's our Blue Oval Saloon Series leader. He's just been lapped by Rick Wood. Martin Reynolds in the Escort. Nobody can stop the man behind, CNC Heads, the man with the amazing touring car collection in his Holden Commodore V8 supercar. Rick Wood scores a double in the Classic Thunder Saloons here at Alton Park this afternoon. Martin Reynolds, meanwhile, a lap down, wins the Blue Oval Saloon Series ahead of James Dunkley. And here comes Jason Davies. He's going to make it home this time in one piece. Slowed on the last lap of the earlier race. he's going to make it in for second overall, 21 seconds down this time. Just the one retirement from that race, sadly. Rick Wood, the winner, ahead of Jason Davies by 21 seconds, and well done Nick Vaughan, a fine third place in the Audi. Bradley Gelman in fourth, just ahead of James Janicki, the Skyline, nearly catching him there on the final lap. There was only half a second between them at the line. Jason Davies, the winner of Class B, Rick Wood taking Class A. Sixth place went to Ian Craig. AJ Owen won Class C in seventh place, and Martin Reynolds takes out the Blue Oval Saloon Series overall and wins his Class S in eighth place, a lap down. James Dunkley, a Class winner, in ninth place behind him, and there were Class wins also for Simon Collier in the Classic Thunder Class S and Sam Daffin in his Fiesta. The other finishers, the Fiestas of Will Hunt and Michael Rudge, Colin Claxton's Escort, and Tim Mizzen, the final finisher in his Fiesta, because unfortunately Mike Manning was the only retirement. Well, we'll head down to Parc Fermé then. Let's see who Ian Waterhouse has found to talk to from our Classic Thunder and Boss second race.
Really, that was the quickest time to get out of the car today. Yeah, I feel like all we've done is you've just been hogging the airtime all day, haven't you?
It's these clips on the side of my helmet, the safety. Yeah, that was a good race.
How are you going to get home with all these pots to take home with you?
It's a nice problem, isn't it? So, yeah, I wonder about that after.
It was a good battle for a bit with Jason, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really made the race for me. I thought, no, he's a good driver, and he was absolutely on the limit. Well done, mate. And, no, I thought I actually had a battle on my hand.
Yeah.
But them Cozzies, when they get a bit too hot day, this is a fast at the end.
Yeah.
Them Cozzies, the turbo, the temperatures go up, the turbos fall off them.
Roasty toasties, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, well done. Congratulations, fantastic stuff.
So the next race is the Pultec Pre 66 classic and historic touring cars. They had a great race earlier on, won by Alan Greenall in his Ford Falcon. Okay, cars on their way to the grid for our second race of the day for the Pultec classic and historic touring cars. Let's have a look at the grid then, based on the results of race one. Alan Greenall in the Ford Falcon with Barry Syme in the Mini alongside him, just as they were on the grid for race one. A pair of V8s on row number two. Piers Grange in the Ford Mustang, Tim Scott Andrews in his Ford Falcon. Row 3, the first of the Lotus Cortinas, Nigel Cox alongside Roger Stanford. He got a penalty for jumping the start in race 1, docked him back a place to 6th. Row 4, Robin Slater, Anglia, John McGurk, Lotus Cortina. On the 5th row, Pat Keneally, another Lotus Cortina, and the reigning champion James Ibbotson with his Hillman Imp. Row 6, Kevin Swan, Anglia, Nathan Williams, Mini. Row 7, Eric Walker with another Ford Anglia, Nathan Beresford in his BMW. Row 8, Andy Mesham in his Mini, championship leader Luke Wilson in the Austin A40. Row 9, Patrick Harris, Morris Minor, Freddie Brown, Hillman Imp. And on row 10 we have Paul Cooper in the Cortina GT and Michael Foley in his Lotus Cortina. Row 11, Stuart Radford with the Triumph Vitesse and Tim Dodwell in his Mini. 12th row, Keith Wright, Morris Minor, Anthony Warnes, Austin A40. Michael Loveland and Douglas Heel are next in their Hillman Imps. They failed to finish in race 1. And then we've got the cars that have changed drivers, because we've got 3 cars that swap drivers between races. Number 21, the Mini, is now handled by John Davies, twin brother of Mike. It's not Steve Evans in the 26 car, that is now Brian Bedford. And in the number 24 car, it is John Truslove taking over from Ben. Waiting the all clear to get this one underway. 15 minutes of racing for the Pultec Pre-66 classic and historic touring cars. We're underway. V8 rumble of the Falcons and the Mustang. A great start by Tim Scott Andrews. Look at that up the outside, and he's going to take the lead on the run into the first corner. A super start by Tim, and Barry Syme swings the Mini round the outside. He slides out of Old Hall. Piers Grange goes wide over the curb, so does Nathan Beresford. And Alan Greenall is demoted to third place, side by side with the Mini. Look at this, down into Cascades. Syme's going for the inside, late on the brakes. He sends it up the inside, and he's taken the lead. Brilliant from Barry Syme. Tim Scott Andrews can't believe what just happened, I don't think. That is how you corner a Mini through Cascades, and Barry Syme has the lead. Look at the size difference. Look at the size of those Ford Falcons charging up behind him, and Grange in the Mustang as well. Now, can Barry Syme, he's pulling away as they come up into the hairpin, can he hold these 3 massive Yank tanks off? 25, look at him up on the edge of the top of the banking on the hairpin. This is brilliant from Barry Syme. It's an absolute joy to watch in the Mini as he pulls away from Alan Greenall, Tim Scott-Andrews, then Piers Grange, and then behind them Roger Stanford in the first of the Cortinas. Okay, can he hold on for the full 15 minutes then? That was an amazing first couple of corners by Barry Syme. A super start by Tim Scott-Andrews down the outside to briefly lead in his Falcon. But then the Mini just blasted down the inside at Cascades from nowhere. He's sideways again. This is how Nick Swift would drive a Mini. Those who've seen footage from Goodwood over the years will know how Nick Swift races Minis. The only way he knows how to drive them is sideways, and I think Barry Syme has been taking lessons from him. It's an amazing first lap from Barry. Up towards Druids, he's got Alan Greenall going after him. Scott-Andrews in third, then Piers Grange in the Mustang, then Roger Stanford. Those five have broken away slightly as they charge their way up towards the bridge and then towards Lodge Corner for the first time. It's Barry Syme who leads the way in the family Mini. They've owned that car for many decades. Piers Grange having a look up the inside on Tim Scott-Andrews, trying to make a move on the Falcon. They're side by side. It's a struggle to fit those two big V8s side by side through Lodge Corner. Pat Keneally has made a good start. He's in the first of the Cortinas. Scott-Andrews has held third place ahead of Grange in the Mustang. This is the midfield battle. Robin Slater attacking James Ibbotson, the Anglia, the slightly more powerful of the two machines. He goes through in the Mini that he shares with his father Jimmy. But here comes Alan Greenall. He's monstering up onto the back of the Mini. He's going to go for the outside into. Oh, they touch. They're rubbing on each other into Old Hall. Goodness me! They just about hold it together there. Oh no, you don't, says Barry Syme. He waved to Alan Greenall there. That's damaged the passenger door on the Mini. You can see there, just pushed it in slightly. And the Mini continues to lead the way. Look at that, the edge of adhesion once again. Big V8s run wide over the curves, and now Piers Grange is on the attack. He's going to have a look as they come down into Cascades this time. He's going for the inside on the big Falcon, who moves across to defend. Greenall still second. Looking at the class leaders, Class C is being led by Barry Syme. Class A by Alan Greenall, the battle of the V8s. Class F by Roger Stanford. Class E by Ibbotson. Class B by Nathan Beresford. And Class D is by Patrick Harris. He's the head of Luke Wilson. So the championship leader could be in for his first defeat of the season. Look at the way the Austin A40's going there of Brian Bedford. He's got round the Cortinas there at the hairpin. Such a nimble little car, Brian Bedford's Austin A40. But meantime, we'll check in with the leaders, and still Barry Syme hanging on. You can see, we've had a change for second place there while we were away. Piers Grange has got the Mustang through into second position. Now, is this going to change tactics? Barry Syme's going to have to be careful. You can see the gaps come down. They come up to lap one of the A40s. Anthony Warnes, and Grange pulls out across the straight. Surely he's going to go through. Yes, he's got him. Now Barry Syme straight back to the inside. No, you don't, he says, again into Old Hall. He's back in the lead at the inside. Terrific from Barry Syme. He's loving this. Piers Grange in second. Alan Greenall. Can't believe what he's seeing ahead of him here. Barry Syme, despite that dent in the door from earlier on, is somehow keeping that Mini ahead of the big American beasts, second, third and fourth. The V8s have got to use their power, and they're stuck behind Stuart Radford here. Oh, they're leaning on each other. Look out, Alan Greenall. Piers Grange didn't check his mirror there. They moved across to take Stuart Radford. This is going to allow Greenall to attack up the inside into Lodge. He's run wide again there, Piers Grange. He's struggling with that Mustang, and Greenall's going to go through into second place. I wonder if he's shot his tyres or his brakes trying to attack for the lead there, Piers Grange. Over Hilltop. The only hope that Alan Greenall has got is that he can out-drag the Mini either along the straight towards Lodge or coming out of Lodge over Deer Leap. Syme defends through Knickerbrook. He's got to defend for his life here. The Falcon is right there. Grange sideways all over the place there. He's really struggling to handle that Mustang. Oh, he's lost a wheel, goodness me. Wheel comes straight off there. That's the end of Piers Grange's race. My goodness. Oh, and Greenall's off as well. Greenall onto the grass. He's going to spin out. Oh, what a shame. What a sad way for that race to end. A cracking race. And there's flames on the back of the... I think that's just a bit of unburnt fuel in the exhaust. What a sad way for that race to end. An incredible race. There's another one off as well. There must be oil down. Roger Stanford has crashed as well on Clay Hill. There must be oil down. Yeah, the red flag has come out. What a sad way for that incredible race to end. Barry Syme is your winner. A wonderful drive, but we didn't get to see the pursuit right to the line. There must have been oil down there on Clay Hill, because first we saw Piers Grange watch the right rear wheel just come straight off. So that was why the handling problems were. The drive shaft must have been coming loose. The wheel bounces away, and there must have been oil then on Clay Hill, because Alan Greenall went spinning into the barrier. Watch what happens. Oh, he avoids the wheel. Roger Stanford goes off. Goodness me. Oh, and straight over as well. That is a huge crash for Roger Stanford. Goodness gracious. Let's hope he's okay. Well, I don't know what to say after that one. What an incredible race, but what an unfortunate finish. I thought it was because there was oil down. I don't know what happened to Alan Greenall there. But he just got wide onto the grass trying to chase Barry Syme. Whether he lost brakes or something, he's okay. The car isn't. Well, clear-up operation in progress here at Alton Park here on BARC TV, following a number of incidents there at the end of the incredible second race for the Pultec Pre-66 touring cars. One of the best races we have seen on BARC TV this year, as the Mini of Barry Syme tried its hardest to hold off the pack of V8s behind it, but it all came apart in the last couple of laps, sadly. Piers Grange's Mustang was getting more and more sideways as the race went on. I imagine, because we saw the wheel and the half shaft come off there, that car was probably dropping oil, which contributed to the incidents there. And eventually the right rear wheel parted company. The Mustang was out, and in avoiding the loose wheel, Roger Stanford crashed his Lotus Cortina, with Alan Greenall, who was chasing the Mini at the front of the field of Barry Syme, also going off at Clay Hill and crashing into the barrier. We hope everyone's okay. We can head down to Ian Waterhouse now in Parc Ferme.
Happy to have a little chat. We'll make sure he's okay. Alan, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
You're all right? Yeah, what happened out there?
Well, I got alongside Barry and went a bit wide onto the dusty stuff, onto the grass, and I was just okay on the grass, and then it just turned sideways and spun across the track and hit the bank or the railing. So sad way to end the race, but I don't know what but it was a big pile up behind me.
Yeah, Roger Stanford, unfortunately, I think he lost the wheel. Somebody lost the wheel, he rolled it, so we're just making sure he's okay first.
I hope he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're a bit of damage, obviously, to the right hand side, but is it more superficial?
Fiberglass and a bit of tin, so hopefully the tin bashers will bash it back into shape. But sad way to end.
It is.
We were having a good race. But yeah, overexcitement.
It's motorsport, isn't it?
Pretty good for a guy my age.
Give over. What? 32?
Yeah, ish.
Thanks for talking to us today, Alan. We do really appreciate it.
The marshals and the medical crews, the recovery crews out on track. Piers Grange's Mustang having lost a wheel being recovered there. But concern for Roger Stanford at the moment. Obviously, as a precaution, all the medical crews went out onto track to make sure Roger was in the best of hands. Well, race fans, I can tell you that the final race of the day, with the clear-up operation obviously taking quite a while and the curfew looming, the final race of the day has been cancelled. The last race for the Pre-83 and Pre-93 touring cars, unfortunately, isn't going to take place. That's a very unfortunate way to end what's been a brilliant day of real motor racing here at Alton Park from the Classic Touring Car Racing Club. Of course, our thanks to all of you for watching. Thank you to the volunteer marshals. Couldn't go racing without the Orange family. Also to the medical crews, the recovery teams, race control staff, everybody else here at Alton Park, everyone from the BARC Northwest Centre. Bit of an unfortunate way to end, but we hope you've enjoyed the action. We hope to see you from myself, Dave Goddard, from Ian Waterhouse down in the paddock. Everyone else here today, our camera crews and director, everyone else, thank you very much indeed for watching. Goodbye for now.